Good morning, guys. So it looks like a few more people joined. So I'm going to go ahead now and get started here on the pre-market watch list. As you guys can see, we're still watching BWV from yesterday. We got a little gap down here this morning. We do also have a few decent gappers this morning that are lower priced in the dollar range. So CRIS is kind of the strongest one that I'm watching right now, pushing towards 180s. So this is definitely going to be a main watch for me, the CRIS. We have MNMD also gapping up here as well. I'll keep an open bias on this towards the open as long as we hold above this 120 level. That's kind of the key level for me at the moment. NEGG, BRSH, those are some other gappers as well. So there's a lot to watch this morning. So really quickly, I am going to go over the watch list that I made last night. And then after that, we'll go over the gappers in a little bit more detail. So starting off with the watch list, the first one I had on there was BWV. So really nice run up yesterday. I ended up catching it right here. So I had that first spike off the open, pulled back, and then as it started to reclaim towards 440, I ended up catching this spike for about 50 cents or 40 cents. So I was pretty happy with that, and then I left it alone, and it ended up breaking out again really nicely in the afternoon. At this point in time, I am kind of short biased with this gap down, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to chase this at the open. So hopefully it can bounce. The key level I would say for longs is probably going to be towards like 6 to 650. So if we were to make a big recovery and reclaim 6 and start to build back up towards 6, 625, 650, that's kind of when I'd keep an open bias for the bigger picture. But right now, I'm kind of thinking it's more likely to reject $6 and then fade even lower towards the 4s. So we'll just really have to watch this at the open and see kind of how it reacts. Hopefully we get a bounce from here though on BWV. The next one on my watch list was PSTV. This was one that gapped up yesterday. So this big move right here actually happened in the after hours. I'm looking at a few other things on this one. There is some potential dilution on this one, I believe. Like they have warrants and an ATM, I believe, that they can use. And also a shelf. So I'm seeing a lot of things. I'm not going to look too far into it. I've traded this ticker a lot. You know, a lot of these pops end up selling off. So any big move on PSTV, I'm usually interested in the short. You can see kind of the main level is towards $2 on this daily chart and higher. I mean, I guess we have some levels here as well towards like $1. But it already made a big move towards 160 and rejected. I guess we can keep an eye on it if it does reclaim 130 and start to break out. I would be more interested in that happening and then shorting it, you know, at a higher level. So if it just dies off from here, you know, there might be a scalp opportunity if it does pull back really hard, but that's kind of my plan. I'm just going to wait. If it goes higher and stays in play, I'll keep an eye on it. If not, I'm probably going to focus on other stuff. This was another one, Wolf, gapping up towards 104. BRSH was also on my watch list last night because we were gapping up here. So let's take a look at the daily chart on BRSH. Looks like we have some resistance towards the threes, 280 in the threes from this last little spike, which was over here. Was this an IPO? It probably was an IPO because I'm only seeing it trading from here. So yeah, we have a lot of resistance from this day one move towards $3 basically. So if this were to spike into that level, you know, maybe I'll consider looking for a short at those higher levels. But for right now, when it comes to longs, I'd want to see VWAP hold after the open with a lot of support and volume. And then if we get a nice setup with tight risk, I'll consider this one on the long side above VWAP. But yeah, it really has to prove itself. BRSH. By the way, if you guys have any questions or want me to look up anything, you can always just comment on the YouTube comments, or you know, if you're in the private Discord, you can comment there and I'll see it. And then moving on to the secondary list. On that watch list, I have PRTY. This one had a little spike yesterday that I was watching. Also, something to note on the daily is we have a gap all the way to basically $3. So if this holds above 220 and continues to build up again, maybe this will try to push back up towards that gap fill. That's just something I'll watch, maybe if it pops up on the scans. Blue, this one's also been holding up pretty well after this halt that we had. So for me to be long biased on this, I would at least need to see it building back up towards this upper range, towards 750 and 760s. Right now that level's kind of turning into resistance. So we'll see what happens on blue. BBIG, this is one I have on my other screen. From the watch list, we're actually gapping up here this morning. But it's been holding up pretty well the last few days. Maybe today we'll get a little bit more range on this one. If it does get really extended in the 2s or 3s, then I'd probably be interested in a short on BBIG at some point. So hopefully this one keeps going. VERU is still on watch. NVFY. PETZ got some volume yesterday in the afternoon, so that's another one to watch. Maybe if it pops up on the scanners. Have some resistance up here. Bed Bath & Beyond flushed really hard again. Basically the same exact pattern it had right here. We had yesterday. So really impressive fade. We'll see if it bounces off 18 towards the open, because I know we have a lot of support at $18. You can even see right here how hard it bounced back from here. So I'm expecting at least a little bounce off 18. But overall, I'm kind of more short biased at this point after this huge breakdown. But at the same time, I want to see how this bounce reacts. Because you definitely don't want to chase a short on something like Bed Bath & Beyond. So I would just be cautious on that. Ear. EAR. If this pops over 3, then you definitely want to keep an open bias if it holds 3 as support. But yesterday I kind of just traded sideways the whole day there. And then now we're getting a little gap down. So it's not looking great on ear. If it stays heavy under 3, we might see this fade back down towards 230s. But if it has strong tape and just makes a big recovery over 3, then I'll keep an open bias. Alright guys, I'm trying to get through this watch list pretty quickly. We're done with the watch list now. Let me just go over the gappers one more time to see how things are setting up for the open. So PSTV, like I said earlier, this 125, 130 level is going to be key for me. So we'll wait until the market opens and we'll see if that reclaims or not. CRIS so far topped out at 180s, which is right here. The gap breakout level is 170 on this daily chart. So we have a gap at 170 and it fills towards the 230s. So at this point, if 170 can hold as support at the open, or maybe even dip down a little bit and then reclaim 170, I want to keep an open bias at that level because we do have a gap right here on the daily chart. So yeah, if this 170 level is holding really well, we might get a breakout towards $2 on CRIS. So I'll be watching that one at the open. We still have about 8 minutes left. MNMD is looking pretty weak right now. That key level that I mentioned, 120, we're testing that support right now. I'll just set a price alert at 130 and then we'll see what this ends up doing. BBIG. BRSH is pretty choppy at the moment. So I'm going to set a price alert at VWAP on BRSH. CDAK already faded down. PXLW kind of has a level towards 250. We'll see if this one gets some volume, but I'll keep an eye on that. CRIS looks like it's getting a little bounce here. We'll see how it reacts towards that pre-market high. NEGG also has a little gap here. We got a lot of resistance towards 5 and 6. I think this one has like a 12 million float, something like that. At least that's what Trade Ideas is showing. But I'm getting different answers on other websites, so I'm not 100% sure on the float with this one. For right now, it probably would need to reclaim at least 485 with a lot of support. It looks kind of heavy at the moment, or there's not a lot of volume, so it might end up just pulling back. I'll set a price alert on this one, just in case. Because as you guys know, a lot of things can change very quickly at the market open. Alright guys, so I hope that helped out a little bit. We have about 5 minutes until the market opens. So I'm probably going to be focused on BRSH, CRIS. Those are probably going to be my top two this morning for the open at least. BRSH is trying to curl up above VWAP, so we'll see how that reacts. But yeah, guys, the open, it can be a little bit crazy. So sometimes it's even better to just be really patient for the first, 30 minutes. And we've been getting a lot of momentum all throughout the day. So, if you missed something, just sit back for a little bit because we have a lot of good setups popping up. So that's kind of my plan this morning. I'm going to try to be really patient. If something's really obvious at the open, I might take a few scalps here and there. But yeah, we got a few minutes left. If anything else pops up, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Looks like, sorry Primo, you brought up Seva earlier. Wow, really nice pop-up. Sorry, I wasn't even watching this too closely. But thanks for mentioning that. So we had that huge spike yesterday, all the way to 30s. And today we're getting a small spike. I just don't know if this is going to really have staying power. It might just end up fading like yesterday. So we'll see how it reacts to $30. We'll see if this level can hold or not towards the open. Let's see what SPY's doing. SPY's gapping up a little bit this morning. See, what can I take off right now? I'm going to take off this one for now. And I'm going to put Seva there. But yeah, guys, if anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know in the YouTube comments. I'll probably stay on the public live stream for maybe another 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'm going to switch over to the private Discord room. For those that aren't in the private Discord, it does come with like my watch list, my live commentary, scans, and the Discord. So we have a link in the description for that if anyone's interested. We got about 30 seconds. MNMD is looking pretty weak. Same with PSTV. Couldn't get back over that 120 level. So it looks pretty weak for the open. CRIS is looking a little bit heavy as well, so we'll see which one's going to be the strong one, or we'll see if they're all going to stay heavy. Right now, BRSH is looking like it's the strongest one so far, trying to hold above 250. But we'll have to see if we get enough volume here. So PSTV is getting a little push. Let's see if that's going to turn into anything or if it's just going to stay heavy. BRSH not really doing much. CRIS, just remember what I said about that 170 level. That's a really important level. Seva is pushing. NEGG, we can keep an eye on this one as well. We have VWAP at 475. So let's see if we can turn VWAP into support on NEGG. Seva, really nice hold towards $30. Man, this could push right back to those levels from yesterday. Alright, MNMD is not looking bad over 120. Let's see if it holds over 120. Alright, so far these three still have potential. PSTV, BRSH, and MNMD. CRIS is kind of the heavy one for now. So let's see how these react. BWV, big short trap as well, pushing right towards that key level, $6. So definitely keep an eye on BWV. So far, BRSH kind of wicked. MNMD still needs to prove itself over 120. MNMD is holding 120 still. big pull under 120, so that one's no good. Still watching PSTV. Seva is still looking pretty strong. PSTV rejected 120. So still feeling pretty heavy on these ones. Let's see how BRSH is acting above this 250. BWV is still kind of interesting as well. I might even shift my focus over to that one a little bit. So this is kind of what I mentioned this morning, was this $6 level. I didn't want to short BWV down here because I felt like it could trap and push towards 6. So we did get that push to 6. So far, just rejecting. So far, rejecting and pulling back towards VWAP. So we'll see how it reacts to VWAP here. We'll give that one some time. But so far, pretty much everything I was watching is pretty heavy. Besides SAVA. Looks like even SPY is pulling back pretty hard. So yeah, if anyone did short CRIS, you could probably use like that 177 area as your stop. I would probably go for targets like in the 140s and 130s. But yeah, like none of these really ran up high enough. I wanted these all to get more extended for the short, but it just didn't happen. They were all heavy at the open. Still gonna watch BWV. We also have FRZA on the scans. FRZA is pushing towards 8. Alright, we have DRUG on the scans. Let's see if this turns into anything or if it's just not going to have enough volume. The float's only around 7 million on this one, so that's not too bad. Hopefully you get some volume. Wow, it's about to halt. I saw it at 125. I just wasn't sure what the float was. So I probably missed out on this one. But whenever I miss out on a long, you know, you can always look for the short if it is going to be that type of play that gets really extended. So DRUG, that's another one to watch. Halted at the moment. ENG is another one popping up on the scans right now. Big level towards 250s. So ENG, this is another one that I want to keep an eye on. Nice reclaim of that 120 level on MNMD. I think most longs are probably using this 120 as risk now. BWV, the range is also getting tighter here, so we should see a reaction pretty soon. Nice push on DRUG, open from that halt. BWV starting to flag a little bit over 6. Pretty big rejection there towards 6. There's ENG. Really nice run there on DRUG. We're actually halted again to the upside. All right, there's new highs on DRUG. So we'll see what it does from here. When I look at the daily, there's not really any clear levels. So I feel like it kind of has a lot of room to push higher if it wants to. But at the same time, we're getting pretty extended here. So for right now, I'd say it probably has to hold above 240. Let's see if we get the push to 3. But yeah, this was definitely the one today. DRUG. Pretty much all the small gappers stayed pretty heavy. NMND, heavy. BRSH. What was the other one? PSTV, just heavy. NEGG, heavy. Just everything was just fading off the open. Also, SPY is pretty heavy today. And we've been kind of grinding up for like the last like week or so, it feels like. So, but we'll see how it reacts here. We have a lot of support towards this 424 level on SPY. So I think that's really going to be key here to see how this reacts. Obviously, if it breaks under that level, we have a lot of room to fade back down towards 420. So it's still holding above 240 for now on DRUG. So we'll see how it reacts here in the next couple of minutes. There's kind of a spread here too on DRUG. At times, there can be like a 5-cent spread. Alright, so we should get a reaction here pretty soon. Like it feels kind of heavy, but at the same time, it's holding up really well over 260. Let's see, is it going to break down here? Or are they going to hold it and rip shorts to $3? Yeah, so the tape does feel kind of heavy. Let's see what they do here. I have no position on this one at the moment. I'm just watching it. Looks like the borrows are a little bit expensive. Not too crazy though. They're like 0.05 per share. Yep, Bed Bath & Beyond is finally breaking down big. Today we stayed heavy under 20. BWV is pulling back. Couldn't turn that $6 level into support, which was kind of the key area that I mentioned in pre-market. All right, let's see how this reacts here. We got some volume coming in on DRUG. There's $3. Like I said, this one has like a 7 million float. I definitely underestimated that a little bit. Nice spike to 335. It's probably going to halt to the upside and push possibly to $4. So DRUG very strong so far. If it doesn't halt, we'll see if we can get a pullback to $3 and we'll see how it reacts there. But yeah, you got to understand this is a 7 million float, I believe. And right now we're at about 16 million in volume, so it's doing some decent volume for now. And that daily chart has room. So now we're getting a pullback to 3. So let's see if $3 can hold. That's going to be key. If shorts are really stuck, we might not even get a pullback to 3 if that's the case, but we'll see what happens here. If anyone did take the long, you know, it's looking good still. Just peace out into strength and then just continue to move your stop up. Like if this breaks out again, you can move your stop to this 309 level or 308. BRSH might be interesting if it pops over VWAP. So far, a nice hold on DRUG. So there's your new risk level off of 309. And here's the new highs. That's why it's important to sell into strength, because you can see how quickly that can reverse. So sell into the strength, have a tight stop on the rest, and then, yeah, it probably would be better to actually just use 3 if you want to have a wider stop. But that wasn't the best reaction there to a new high. It just rejected and went right back to that support. So yeah, I'd be cautious at this point. It might break under 3. So we'll give this one some more time. But longs would really need this to hold above $3. Let me scan a few other things really quickly as well. So far held up pretty nicely there at $3. So it might set up for another clear out. Nice push on DRUG towards 370s, but now it's getting heavy again. So just like I said earlier, you got to sell into strength on some of these and then have that tight stop just in case it's a reversal. It already made a pretty big move. Not saying it can't go higher, because when I look at the daily, I feel like it can. It has room maybe to force. But we're getting pretty extended, and that was a big rejection. So I would not be looking at longs after these wicks here, or I'd be really cautious on them. You really just have to keep a tight stop here. BRSH. Alright, so it's going to be interesting to see how this 5-minute closes on DRUG. So far we've had all green 5-minute candles. So this one's going to be really important to see how this 5-minute closes. Alright, so here's that flush to $3. Let's see how it reacts to this support level. Probably going to flush under though. And there's that flush. We got a little flush there to almost VWAP. So at this point, longs really need this 320 to reclaim. If not, then you got to be cautious of another flush under VWAP. It has room to fade, but at the same time, you know, if this were to trap shorts again and pop over 320, I think a lot of stops would go off. So I don't want to say it's completely over. We'll just have to see how it reacts in the next few minutes. But this 320 is really going to be key here. Or I guess you could say 325. Shorts do not want to see it over this 325, 330. If it does pop over that, they're going to get really nervous and probably stop out. So like imagine if you shorted right there and that's the reaction you got, a big flush, you don't take any profits and then it goes right back to your entry. Pretty frustrating, but so far I'm still 50-50 on it. It's trying to hold above 325, but we'll see what happens. BRSH didn't even stand a chance, just rejected 250. DRUG. I think they're probably going to try to stop shorts out. Someone asked if I'm shorting DRUG. I'm not. At least I'm not at the moment. And the borrows just got even more pricey. I used to be like 90% on the short side, as you guys know, over like the last few years, really. When it comes to small caps. But lately I've kind of been focusing on longs a lot more. I'm trying to kind of take advantage of some of these runners like this. And just really over like the last 2-3 weeks, there's been a lot of good long opportunities. Just, you know, probably maybe even more than the shorts. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on lately, is more on the long side. But I do still short every once in a while. If I get like a really obvious short, I'll still take those on a lot of these small caps. And there are some days where it's really important to have a short broker because, you know, you might get like 5 short setups in a day if everything's just really heavy. But then you have some days where it's the complete opposite and just everything is just running. So it's good to just have, you know, both of those in your playbook. But yeah, I'm not gonna buy this up here either. It already made too big of a move for me to try to chase or scalp these moves up here. I try to take advantage of like the lower range and then sell into, you know, the big moves. Once we get higher, you know, intraday, I try to be a lot like less aggressive on the long side. Kind of helps too, because then you'll be patient for the short later on some of these plays. So DRUG basically just trading sideways here. But yeah, besides DRUG today and a few others, wasn't really the most exciting day. There was some decent opportunities though. BWV, once it kind of double topped, there was a nice shorting opportunity for the breakdown with a pretty tight risk here. So that was a good opportunity. Bed Bath & Beyond had continuation to the downside. PSTV, maybe a scalp at the open on the short side off that weakness. So there's pretty much opportunities, decent opportunities every day. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down this morning on the public live stream. Hopefully these live streams are kind of helping you guys out in the morning. I'm going to keep doing more of these, so be sure to subscribe and turn on the post notifications. And anyone who wants to join the private Discord, there is a link in the description. If you want to create your own scanner as well, we do have a link for trade ideas that you guys can use to get a discount. But yeah, that's going to be everything. If you guys have any questions, you can also join our free public Discord channel, and you can ask questions in there. I'm available pretty much all day. But yeah, that's going to be it. If you're in the private Discord, I'll go over there and I'll just continue on the Discord screen share. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning.